Hello friends! Merry Christmas Eve, or as I like to say, the night before Christmas. It has been a busy week here at Honey Apple Farm, so I wanted to come bring you along on a couple of the Christmas traditions that we have been enjoying this week. I'm here in front of our Christmas village. This village was a gift from my grandmother's estate. I don't remember her having these. I went up to her house a lot around Christmas time when I was a kid, but this is something she started to do after I graduated high school and moved away. And when she passed away about 3 or 4 years ago, this collection was up for grabs. None of the other relatives wanted them. And so my mom kind of offhand asked me if I wanted them because she knows how much I love Christmas. And I said yes, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Normally we have them under the Christmas tree because we don't have a lot of presents, and that's what we did with them the first 2 years we had them. But this year, Darcy has claimed the space under the Christmas tree, so we thought we'd try them on the treadmill, and it's been really cool because unlike in the Christmas tree, which is 360, this is much more linear, and it's set up to look kind of like a village street. And we just love it. It's all oriented towards the living room. So where you guys are sitting is the living room. So as we're sitting, watching the TV or having a glass of eggnog or hot chocolate or tea in the evening, mulled wine, we can look out and see it. So I do need to do one thing. They came with bulbs, but there weren't quite enough bulbs for all of the houses. And when they were under the tree, that was okay because you couldn't really see some of them lit up anyway. But I do want to replace some of the bulbs. I went ahead on Amazon, and there are now LED bulbs as opposed to the incandescent ones, and I've gotten a chain of them. So I'm going to go ahead and take the bulbs out of the back row and put the new ones in, and then I think there's a couple here in the front that didn't get a bulb, so I'm going to go ahead and put bulbs in there, and then we're going to light up the whole street and see what it looks like. Okay, we've turned off the overhead light, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the power strips, and let's see what this looks like. Ta-da! Christmas village. Isn't it pretty? It just reminds me so much of Christmases gone by, and I love all of them, although I have to admit that this one here and this chapel are my favorite because they remind me of colonial times. They remind me of the Genesee Living History Museum, which is a living history museum outside Rochester, New York, that Peter and I went to when I was house sitting there 3 years ago, and we fell in love with that living history museum. And this very much reminds me of going to their Christmas open house where they had different interpreters from different parts of the world: Scotch, Jewish, German, English, I think Irish, doing interpretations of what people in the colonial time would have done. So yeah, here's our Christmas village. Good morning from a snowy, blowy Tulsa, Oklahoma. I thought it was thick frost this morning when I first woke up, but no, it's snow. It's supposed to continue doing this through noon, and that's it. So not quite the winter wonderland, but it's not supposed to get above, I think today's high, as I said, is 13, which is what it's now. Tomorrow the high is 21. I don't think we get above freezing for a daytime temperature until Christmas Day, which is 3 days from now. So we may have a white-ish Christmas. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is so cold out here. But it's pretty. You can see the snow's coming down, swirling and whirling. Yay, we finally have flakes. So hilariously, they said the snow was supposed to stop like a half hour ago, which it didn't. And now, instead of earlier it was little tiny pellets, it's actually flakes, and it's blowing like crazy. But there are actually flakes of snow. It's so pretty. I just want to take a cup of tea and watch out the window. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the furnace is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Today we are doing something crazy. It is baking day. So a quick backstory. When I was growing up, Christmas was not really about food, which sounds weird because as an adult, I love pretty much everything having to do holiday themed. Eggnog flavored stuff, peppermint flavored stuff. I love it, but I couldn't stand eggnog when I was a child, and I don't really remember a whole lot of extra food things in the house, except my mom did a lot of baking at Christmas, cookies in particular, and so every year I get kind of the baking urge, and prior to starting kind of this made-at-home lifestyle, this was pretty much the only time of year that I baked. And so today I'm going to try something ambitious, and that is to make 5 different dessert things. 4 of them are cookies. 1 of them is a cake that I don't have the right pan for. So we'll see how this goes. But a normal person would say, oh, well, if you want to do several different cookies, you should do them on several different days and space them out. That is an entirely reasonable thing to say. But I don't work that way. I do best when I sit down and just dig in and do it all and make a mess all at once and get it done. So that is the plan for today. So I'm making 3 recipes that are known to me and 2 that are new. So we're going to make, and I'm also going to make a half batch of all of the cookies because it's just Peter and I. We don't have a lot of people to give the cookies away to, and so 5 dozen cookies is not going to work. So I'm going to have all of the recipes except the cake because you can't really half a cake, I don't think. So we are going to make the gingerbread cookies, which I've made before and Peter loves them. I'm going to make sugar cookies, which I made last year. I'm going to make, let me think, chocolate chip cookies, but with Andes mints instead, which I've made before. So those are the 3 recipes I know. The 2 new to me recipes are, I'm going to try a peanut butter cookie recipe from Becky at Acre Homestead, and I'm going to try an eggnog cake recipe from Deborah at the Thrifty Homesteader. So here is our eggnog cake out of the silicone dish. Looks pretty good. Nice and cake-like on the bottom. So we're going to cut into it and see if it tastes as good baked as it did in the dough stage. Batter stage? I guess technically for a cake it's a batter stage. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I can taste the eggnog. It's mostly the taste of the nutmeg, which is not surprising given that that's the main scent of flavor profile in the mix. I wouldn't say it's like full-on eggnog. I wouldn't say it's a replacement for drinking eggnog, but if you wanted a baked good that tastes like eggnog, lightly of eggnog, I'd say that's good. It's still really warm. It's been out of the oven for about half an hour, so it could be that as it cools, some of the more subtler flavors will come out, or maybe not. But yeah, it's pretty good. Again, I'm not sure I would make it again. It's on my list of that was interesting to try, and it's great, but not amazing, or good but not amazing. But you know, you gotta try some of the stuff and see how it works. So I'll happily eat the rest of this piece. Peter and I are gonna go watch our episode of the Christmas Diaries at Chateau de Lalande on YouTube. and I will see you guys tomorrow for part 2, baking extravaganza. Night for now. There they are, the first batch of cookies to come out of the oven. These are the chewy and soft peanut butters, and the recipe said to bake them for 8 to 10 minutes. Now I use the silicone mat, which increases the baking time because it acts as an insulator, and our oven tends to take a little bit longer than average baking time. So these were in for 16 minutes. I gave them a little test with the spatula to make sure they will hold together. I'm not 100% sure if they're cooked all the way through, but they're certainly brown on top, and having them in for twice as long as the recipe called for seemed like about the right time. So 1 tray down, many trays more to go. Ta-da! Christmas cookies 2022 are complete. Don't they look awesome? So we have the gingerbread here and here and here. These are the peanut butter cookies. These are the Andes mint cookies, and these are the sugar cookies. And there's some sugar cookies under here as well. I don't know how y'all do it. Those of you who do this batch cooking thing, I'm exhausted. I mean, it sounds good to do a lot of cookies at once, and it was, but like, man, you know, it feels like you're just doing production line stuff and stamping them out and putting them in the oven and taking them out. It's kind of, I guess, relaxing. Maybe that's why people do it, but I'm tired. So thank you so much for hanging out with us as we celebrate Christmas here at Honey Apple Homestead. I hope that wherever you are and whoever you're with, you are having a wonderful and magical Christmas weekend. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Christmas, and I will see you in my next video. Good night. Well, 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 what have we here? Christmas tree ornaments that are not on the Christmas tree. How did that happen? How did that happen? And not just here. Oh no. No, not just there. Also, over here. But you wouldn't know anything about that now, would you, Darce? No.